Hi, my name is Nicky Scarlotta.
Hi, I'm Jojo Scarlotta.
And today we're with It Girl to answer the most searched questions about us. This is Search Bar.
Search bar. Very nice.
See what happens.
Let's do it.
Got it. Perfect.
Cool. Oh, this is a great one. Are your accents real?
Our accents are real, but sometimes we turn it up for specific videos, or if we get pissed off about something, you might hear the accent come out more. But they are 100% real, yeah.
And you know what's great? We don't think sometimes we'll just be talking, we don't think we have an accent, and that there's someone who's not from where we're from, that, that's New York, I know it's New York, so we don't think we have an accent, and we always end up having one.
It's apparently a distinctive accent, we're told, so yeah, we definitely have a real New York, Staten Island accent.
Yeah, that's not cool, it's where we're from. So who are Nicky and Jojo dating? I'm dating Gianna, my girlfriend of 2.5 years.
And I am single.
Yes, he is. And he's
So
mingling.
I'm single and I've been mingling a little bit, but I'm single. I like being single. Right now in my life, I just turned 26. I'm really solely focused on my career, and I will entertain if I feel like I met the right person. But right now I feel like living on Staten Island all my life, I haven't really ran into the right person yet, and I'm not trying to force nothing if it's not there. So for the time being, I'll focus on my career. If something I feel like, it's worth really attempting towards, I would love to, get in a good relationship. But I'm not the type to rush. I'm 26, I want to enjoy myself a little bit and eventually settle down, And I might have a little bit of commitment issues thrown on top of that. But what are you gonna do, What was it like filming The Circle? The Circle was such a fun time. And it was really like a once in a lifetime experience, because at the time we were in the city working our union construction jobs. And when we got the call for that, we basically said, we got to take this leap of faith and see what happens. And it turned out to work in our favor, but it truly was probably one of the most pivotal moments in our life, I would say, filming that show. And it was a really fun time. What was the audition process for The Circle? So they actually reached out via email to my brother, and we were with a friend of ours whose cousin actually won season 5 of the show. Shout out Neil and Sam.
I think 4, season 4?
Was it season 4?
It's not important. One of the seasons.
They won one of the seasons of the show. And we didn't really know what to expect from the email because we never heard of it. And he said, take it seriously. This is a show that changed my cousin's life. So we were like, oh shit. We could curse, right? Yeah. Okay. We were like, oh shit, like this is an opportunity that could come knocking. And the audition process was definitely a pretty long one, I would say, too.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember when you go to film something like this and you're in isolation, they need to make sure you're right in the head, you're okay to go down there and do the process. So we had psych evaluations, there was a ton of stuff in the process. But it was really unlike anything. And I'll tell you what, I truly believed every step of the way that we were gonna land ourselves onto the show, onto The Circle, and we did. So, we just made sure we took everything and knocked it out of the park.
I would say like the craziest thing about the audition process is like right before you actually go start filming the show, when you're in like isolation in the hotel and they're interviewing so many people. So we did the interview, and for like 2 days, we had a good feeling of how it went. But for 2 days, you're kind of like left if, are they gonna call, or you're waiting because you don't have a phone. So you're kind of waiting in anticipation for a couple of days. And those 2 days were probably like 2 of the longest days of our lives, because, we had so much riding on the show. We quit our jobs to go film the show and, commit to this and social media full time. So it was definitely a lot, but it was really fun. So
did Nicky and Jojo win The Circle? Well, if you haven't watched by now, I'm sorry to spoil it. Yes, we did. We did win The Circle. Catfishing as Gianna, and that's crazy it feels like it happened 3 years ago.
I know, right?
And so many people just watched it, but it's unbelievable still that we did win. Low key, I feel like it weirdly didn't happen. We were hallucinating.
Might have been.
Possibly off,
Might have been. We didn't know, because everyone if you get blocked, you go home, most parts. So we thought, we could have 10 episodes, 1 episode on the show. Let's just give the viewers TV gold and we'll go from there. That was our goal coming in. And we so happened to stay the whole show after getting blocked on night 1. Hit the disruptor, and the rest is history.
Yeah, it was an underdog win. Actually, we did an article, I forget who it was with, but we said it, and I really strongly believe it, that we had one of the most biggest underdogs stories in Circle history.
Yeah.
From being blocked into winning it. It was just unlike any other. The back and forths with Kevin in the influencer chat every time.
Shout out to Kevin the Perm. Have you ever been catfished in real life? Ooh, unfortunately, yes, I have. A couple of years ago.
With who? Do I know?
We're not gonna get into the specifics of the situation,
okay,
but I have got catfished and it was not that fun.
Nah.
Went in thinking I was meeting a 9, 10, got like a 4.5, 4.
What are you gonna do?
Take a shot at the Pink Whitney.
Okay. What is something viewers wouldn't know about the circle? Pink Whitney? That never hurt. That never clouded the
Cheers.
judgment.
Okay.
So what they didn't know.
Well, what they didn't know is actually, viewers wouldn't know that you're basically like sober the whole time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, like other than one day when we weren't really filming, we had like a one day to like relax. They brought us food. We could watch Netflix. We had a TV. It was nice. And we had like 2 beers. I remember being a little tipsy off of like
the
2
2
beers.
beers.
I was like,
What the
wow,
fuck happened to us?
haven't fucking drank, you know? But yeah, you're basically, you know, they got to keep you in a clear headspace. Yeah, you're basically sober in isolation. So try not to crack because it's hard.
It was definitely not
You know?
easy. Yeah, I'd say people were really unfamiliar with the process. Like, we had no phones, no TV. We never read that much in our lives. We eating like pigeons, just like steak and vegetables.
Like fucking turkey and cheese
Turkey and
sandwiches.
cheese sandwich, doing push-ups, reading David Goggins.
Yeah,
It was a wild
shout
time.
out to David Goggins, because a lot of times when like we thought we were going to the breaking point, you would just kind of just read like a Goggins book. You'd be like, yo, just gear up, don't be a bitch about it. And we're like, okay,
Yeah.
we can't disappoint David Goggins, and we just push.
He would talk about like being in like he was where'd he go? He was stationed though. He was in the
Yeah,
war.
I forgot where he was, but he was talking about Hell Week. And, like,
SEAL, yeah. He went
it was
to
fucking
Hell
Navy
Week
SEAL.
with the Navy SEALs 3 times, and we're like, all right, we're in a hotel in Georgia. Well, I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
so that
like-
helped our mind a lot.
Yeah, you know, just getting outside of your body and like having a different perspective and just kind of grounding yourself, because it was really such a sick experience. It was like, yeah,
It was amazing.
yeah, it was cool.
It was nuts. And how did you spend the circle prize money? So first thing we wanted to do was see our accountant.
You're damn
and,
right.
We just kind of squared things away, and now we're kind of planning on what to do, essentially, in a sense, with it.
We definitely want to do something to give back to our family, but number one, make sure the taxes are paid and taken care of, because you can't cheat Uncle Sam.
You can't.
Come back
They're gonna
after
get
you.
They're
So
gonna
once we
garnish
make
you.
sure that's all taken care of, we'll
We could
spend the
plan.
money.
But yeah, it's but not for nothing. 100,000, especially after taxes, it's not the same that it was in 2000 or 99.
No,
You know what I mean?
this inflation.
This is.
What are you gonna do?
What are we gonna do? Is JoJo still dating Gianna? Yes, I am. We're about 2.5 years in now, and I couldn't be happier. She's great. I got a great partner. Very happy with her because she puts up all my shit. So I can't really say much more.
Why did you decide to play her?
So we decided to play Gianna in the circle because at times we could be a little over the top, and we might not think so. Other people may, because of where we're from, maybe how we carry ourselves. So we thought the New York stereotype that we embody could be a little much for certain people in the circle. So a pretty beautiful girl who's in nursing school, like my girlfriend, would be amazing. You know, they might not feel pressured or like weird about
Yeah.
us, for saying certain things. So we think it was an advantage to our game playing as Gianna instead of ourselves, for sure. It was a little easier till we had to prepare, and we were taking down makeup routines. We were taking down skincare setting sprays. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely, just us as ourselves, you never know who's the other contestants in the circle are gonna be. So we didn't want to be those like New York Italian construction workers. They might be like, who the fuck is this? I don't want to be allies with this guy. And they might judge us off rip. So why not be someone a little more relatable, And it was kind of fun to catfish because like, we were able to like experiment and have fun like talking as a girl, but it was a little hard though.
It was.
It was a little hard, like having to like answer certain things a little more feminine with certain more like emojis and exclamation points. It was a little tough. It was a little stressful at points.
We had to get used to the influx of emojis because we're just like a one and done. Hey,
Yeah, like we're
thanks.
like if you
Thumbs
ever
up.
texted your dad and you write him a whole synopsis and he writes like okay or K or like the thumbs up. That's how like we text like old school
Yeah.
people. So to really like embody something else, we tried to do that and it worked out, but it was definitely a little bit of a challenge at first.
We paid attention to that a lot. We were like adding, hey, we were like, message, hey, add 7 Ys in hey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things like that. I think it helped.
Have you ever liked the same girl? Summer camp 2007.
Don't worry, I let him have her. I let him have her. So
Gone with the wind.
yeah, like a fart in the wind, they're gone, huh? It's weird because that's a funny question because you got to understand something. We have the same DNA, same genes, genetic makeup as twins. So I think that would occur in our lifetime.
Yeah. When we were young kids, you're thinking, and we have a lot of the same thoughts as it is. We have some type of like twin telepathy.
Yeah.
Not the weird way where people are like, oh, if I punch you in the shoulder, is your brother gonna feel it? But
If I hit you here, is he gonna
jerk off question? Let me tell you, that one's a jerk off
Extremely.
question. But we have like a sense for each other's mental when one of us might be feeling off or feel like something's up. We could kind of
We've had the same dreams before.
Yeah.
We've been able to finish each other's sentences. So there is truth to that theory.
Yeah.
But not to the weird extent that certain people think.
Yeah, but we definitely had felt that before. And when we were younger, we liked the same girl in summer camp.
Yeah, it was weird. Weird time in life.
Yeah.
Okay? Next question.
I didn't wind up marrying the girl, so what's it matter?
Oh, God.
2007,
All right.
huh?
What other reality shows would you go on? That's an excellent question. The people have been telling me about the ultimatum, the challenge, which seems like, is it the challenge or is that the ultimatum where they eat all the bugs? It's like a modern day Fear Factor.
Can't do that.
That's a challenge? See, that's where I draw the line. $250,000 prize, $500,000. I'm not eating cockroaches for money.
No.
I'm not. I'd rather take my chances.
I freak out seeing a fucking spider in my
Yeah.
bathroom, okay?
Fuck that.
Think I'm gonna eat a fucking live
no.
antelope or
No,
tarantula?
no.
Antelope's a little
Antelope
nuts.
is like
like
a-
a tarantula
like a
or something?
deer.
Like, fucking, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, God.
I'm a single guy. I might do The Bachelor, you never know.
Or Love Island?
Love Island. But you know what the thing is, this is like,
Too hot to
I feel
handle?
like I would get too over the reality crowd halfway through film, and I feel like at one point I'd have a fucking mental breakdown. I don't know if I could do it, but I would love to maybe possibly go on like a Love Island, Love is Blind, The Bachelor, if you're casting and you need a New York Italian bachelor,
You know,
I'll give you my number. You know what I mean? Not too hard to find.
Possibly, if they entertained a modern day Jersey Shore reboot,
Yeah.
you could definitely consider us.
What is the key to a good source?
We should have dialed in Pops.
Should we? Yeah, I'll give him a call. It's probably.
What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up, Dad? We're actually we're filming the show right now, and they gave us a question that I think you might know the answer to.
What's up, buddy?
Ready?
What's the question?
What is the key to a good sauce?
The key to a good sauce. The sauce, you need the tomatoes, the best tomatoes.
You understand? You need the tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Okay. Elaborate.
Good olive oil, or is that not that important?
You always start with the olive oil, of course.
A little garlic.
What
Onions.
are you doing, like a sauce, a Sunday sauce, like?
Yeah, we're not doing a recipe. We're just like, what's the keys to it? But yeah, we figured, the seasonings, the tomatoes are very key.
Definitely. You need the olive oil. You need the if you're gonna do a sauce, you're gonna, if you're doing like the meat sauce, you need the good products. You need the good meat. You need definitely the good tomatoes.
Good
you can't skip
produce.
on the tomatoes.
Yeah, the tomatoes. San Marzano.
That's why in the summer it's the best.
And you need you need the basil to finish it later on. So
Need a couple bottles of wine to get through the sauce too, huh, Pops?
you need the wine. Don't even bother cooking sauce if you don't have the wine.
That's true. That's the most important
the
part.
key.
of
That's the
steak.
key to
the
the
wine has
sauce.
to go into the sauce too. Don't forget that.
You need a little wine and sometimes to debase.
What about the plate? He puts the plate in the bottom so we don't burn it. What about the plate? The steel plate?
Well, we have that like sort of a commercial stove. That's why we put this.
You got the big pot.
okay.
stuff.
We got
Oh,
the
it makes
big.
sense.
Our flame is high, so we don't want to burn the sauce. That's the worst thing if you ever put your spoon down in the turn and you come up with a little bit of
Yeah,
little
nah.
darkness. You burn the sauce, you're done. You want to kill yourself.
It's a valid reason. I mean,
All right, Dad, I appreciate it.
we love you, Pops.
Love you.
Guys, enjoy it.
All
Talk
right.
to you later.
All
Be
love
safe
you.
out there.
Love you, Dad. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So now you heard it.
Yeah.
The tomatoes and everything else
Everything
that he
else.
said.
And you might end up suicidal if you burn the sauce. That's
Yeah.
the key takeaway here. No, I'm joking.
Ooh, this is fucked up. Nicky, how does it feel that JoJo has more followers than you? Damn, went right for the jugular, whoever the jugular is. I mean, it's fine. We do everything together, and he was actually doing the social media before me.
So don't get all over him for that.
For a little bit of time, I wasn't doing it, and I jumped in a little late, and I caught up a good amount.
You did.
But he had home court advantage. What could I say?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? No, but I started it myself. He joined in later, so I think that's why I probably have a little bit more on certain platforms now. But ultimately, we're pretty identical in pretty much fucking everything. So
Yeah.
the followers are adding up too.
Yeah, and all that matters is the followers add up together. You know.
This is a good one. Are you and the is like in a weird italicized? Is that what it is? Italicized?
Italics.
Italics, see?
Italics.
That's how you know I didn't go to college. Are you in the italics, the TikTok twins? I mean, to be honest, the number one thing I hear when people recognize us, oh, TikTok. It's not even anything. TikTok, right?
Yeah.
So I would say so.
Yeah, because
I would say so.
A lot of people recognize us, especially with our New York skits and our New York and Boston skits in the deli, and they always ask us, I see you guys on TikTok primarily. Excuse me, got the acid
Yeah, so
reflux.
I would say it'll do it. I say we probably would be noticed as the TikTok twins, and I'm trying to think primarily. I can't really think of another set of twins on TikTok that I could really think of right now.
I mean, there might be a set of twins who
probably a
have
few,
more
yeah.
followers, probably. But I would say in terms
Who's
of like,
doing what we do?
yeah, in terms of like real influence to the culture and the nation.
Yeah, the whole nation. Yeah, so I would say so.
What do you have to say to people who say Staten Island is the forgotten borough? But I could definitely see how it became the forgotten borough, because a large percent of the Staten Island population, you have like the stereotypical, douchebaggery.
Yeah,
you got,
a lot of
jealous people, envious people hating. But for the most part, Staten Island as a borough, we have amazing food, we have amazing talent. We're very, very underrated as a borough.
And it's the most suburban, so I don't know why it gets the hate that it gets, other than the fact there's really not much to do. What do we do?
Yeah.
But I could see why it is forgotten at times as well.
It's also
Definitely.
Staten Island's way smaller than all these other boroughs for the most part, and I would say, I think it's on the come up. I think you guys got to stop sleeping on Staten Island, that's for sure.
What was your worst experience with an influencer?
Ooh.
I don't know. I really have no idea, to be completely
I
honest with you.
don't know either. We're gonna have to take a shot for that.
Shot for the Pink Whitney. What was your worst experience with a brand? There's a few that come to mind, but I'm not going to single them out.
Nah, I'm not gonna say one that specific.
We'll speak the specifics of the.
Yeah, we did a video that we thought was kick ass. And we put a lot of time and effort into the concept, revised the concept like 5 times, shot the video, got background act, the whole 9. And then they said, because we don't know where we want to go with this concept of this part of the brand, we're just going to disband the video. So that was kind of like annoying.
That was a bummer.
Because we put a lot of hard work into it and multiple times and weeks of preparation.
Of different writing out a script, this is no good, doing another one. There was a few, I believe there was other ones. Some of these brands are really like, there's some brands that are so easy to work with and so great. I wish I could renew with them every month. And then there's some brands where you got to do 20 million revisions. You post something, it was the wrong thing with the wrong font. Take it down and post it again. I'm sure that's going to be detrimental to the analytics of this video.
Yeah.
But the reality is, there's good and there's bad. But we're lucky to even be having brand deals in our lives, and we don't have to dig up the streets of frickin' Manhattan for money anymore. So we'll take that as a bad day at the office. I'm honored by the question. It says, "Are you trying to be a knockoff Pete Davidson?" Ooh. I can't even tell you the amount of times people said, "Oh my God, this is like Pete Davidson. This is like Pete Davidson." I'm fucking honored. Not only is Pete Davidson from Staten Island, look at the fucking track record.
Yeah, guys, go.
Look at the fucking track. This is like, I'll take that and I'll run with it.
You know what it is too? Like we all have the same sense of humor in a sense. We all grew up in the same place. Like, we all dealt with similar things. So I guess, we could see the comparisons, and now we're up and coming from Staten Island like he was at one point of his life. But we're meaning to run into Pete.
We gotta run into Pete. We gotta hang out with Pete.
That'd be cool.
Tough one. Pete's a great guy. I look up to Pete.
Pete Davidson brought Kim Kardashian to the atrium and Campagna in Staten Island.
Legendary.
Guy got game, okay? Legendary game.
Legendary.
Okay? I aspire to learn his ways.
So to the people who ask that, you know what? I'll say, if you say that, you know what? Yes. The answer is yes. Fine with me. This is a great one. So what's next for Nicky and Jojo? Excellent question. Love the question. We ask ourselves that pretty much every day. But right now we have a few things we're looking forward to doing. We have a cooking show with my dad. We're going to release primarily for the time being on YouTube until people realize it's great and they got to pick it up. We have a really exciting show that we already filmed. Not reality. We actually had to audition acting-wise, and luckily we got the part. Can't obviously disclose that yet, but when that comes out, I think people are going to really like it. Can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah.
And so we have a podcast / our own sort of show hybrid show we want to launch eventually. More news bookings, the whole 9.
And our goal, like our ultimate goal is, because we're such like big fans of movies and filmmaking, is we want to be able to write our own scripts and produce our own movies. There's a lot that's going to be next. That's why he's got to tune in and make sure you follow all our accounts. and our father's account.
Yeah,
because he's the best chef in the world. We're a little bit biased, but you know, it is what it is. So guys, listen, got to make sure you follow us at Nicky Scarlotta, at Jojo Scarlotta, at Scarlotta Twins, and at Joe Scarlotta Sr., our father. Those are our pages. We want you guys to make sure you tune in and don't miss a step of our journey. We got a lot of shit coming that you guys are gonna love, okay?
It's gonna get weird. It's gonna get very weird.
Shades are going back on. Yeah. And you're gonna love it.
Love it. Are we rolling? Okay.